and good morning. Welcome to a wet Saturday morning, as I just posted just a moment ago. As we start out today, things are a lot better for the East Mississippi side than it is on the West Alabama and on into Alabama, because Mississippi will be on the west side of the storm with the path that Tropical Storm Claudette has done. Went a little south and a little bit more east and turned, putting the Meridian area and Philadelphia and all these areas here in Jackson, Mississippi on the west side of the storm. Let me show this overview before we get into all the details of what's coming up on radar this morning as we look at this. All of this green area that you see is going to be a flash flood watch until 1 a.m. in the morning. Now that takes in just about everybody. As you get over here in these gray areas, wind advisories back here due south of Jackson. Now these yellow marks here are tornado watches that are out already this morning. All right, now I just posted a moment ago, this is a tornado warning here. This is to the northwest of Crestview, Florida. This is in Alabama, around Brewton, Alabama. Old Sparta, Alabama, if you're familiar with this. These areas right in here. Let's zoom in this before we turn on radar to let you show some Evergreen, Castleberry tornado warning, and this is going to last until 8:30 a.m., roughly 28 minutes from now. Two of them that we're following right there. And let's turn on radar just to see how bad that is. And this is radar indicated for these. Going to be traveling through here is what we're looking at. So if you've got friends or family that live in that area there, keep in mind this west of Red Level, Alabama. And Repton, Alabama, Monroe is going to be due east of there is where these tornado warnings are. With Georgiana due south of there is what we've got this morning. As I said, there's lots to talk about. Claudette did not form until about 4 a.m. Since then, we're going to get a lot of rain here. And again, all of this area to the east of us will get the worst of the worst. Let's turn on the path and take a look at what we've got. As you look down through here, we've got Pearl River, numerous impassable roads. If you'll see the video that I posted just a little bit ago of the home in Slidell, Louisiana that happened in the overnight hours of the water inside the house there. Horrible for those folks. Keep that in mind. The Meridian area all along here, roughly about 2 inches. All right, let's turn the path of this storm on so you can take a look at what the route that it's going to be taken. All right, this is it. As we put it, this winds are still steady at 45 miles an hour, moving to the northeast at 12 miles an hour. That has slowed down about 4 miles an hour since making landfall. It was easing along at about 16. It's traveling at about 12 now, so it slowed down a little bit with that. The pressure is 1,006 millibars. As we look at this path, right here is where it's going to be at roughly 1 p.m. this afternoon. As we get closer to the Hattiesburg area, as you'll look at this, it'll turn just due southeast of Hattiesburg, in between there and New Augusta, roll up north of Richton, and then it's going to make its way across Wayne County. And if you're not familiar with counties and maps, let me show this. Meridian sits right here. This is going to be two counties. This is going to be Quitman, Clark County, one county south of there. I think most everybody has heard of Waynesboro. This storm is going to turn east right below Waynesboro. All right, here's Waynesboro right here. The eye of the storm is going to go right through here, right across where the airport is at Waynesboro, across Highway 45, and then on into Alabama. It's the path that it will take. Gilberttown, Alabama, this will be later this afternoon. It will be just due south of you when it comes across for all our friends that are watching there. Berrytown, as we look at this, it'll also be near Womack Hill, these areas. Here's Gilberttown, Chapel Hill, and just make its way on into Alabama that way. Now, as always, as we've said, everything to the west of the eye of a storm is better. So that puts us, Clark County has a chance of getting some horrific rains with this. Everything on this side will get more. Kemper County still under a flash flood watch. So is Lauderdale, Newton County, and we get down into Jasper and all of these areas here back over to Smith County due east. And then the worst of this weather, again, as I keep repeating myself, I know, is going to be to the east. And then this will eventually make its way on toward Atlanta and Athens area before it finally just kind of fades away. We're expecting it to be about right here at 1 a.m. In the morning, Sunday morning. As we look at this, this should be due south of Demopolis, Alabama, when it makes its way there. Now, I'm not saying, and I want everybody to think that we don't have the possibility of something severe popping up. It could, as always, but we don't run the risk that it once could. Now, let's turn all of this off, and let's go over here and look at severe weather, what is expected. So if you're traveling through that area, or if you've got friends, neighbors, anybody that lives there, so you know exactly what it is, let's turn on the outlook of severe weather for today. Now, as you'll look here, this is where it cuts across. Right here is where the eye of the storm is going. As you'll notice, all of this area back to Jackson, Vicksburg is on the west side here. Now, Meridian, Newton, these areas do run the risk of getting up to about 2 inches of rain today. But if you were over here, it gets worse. You have to get into Clark County, the southeastern portion of Clark County, to even get into the number 1 category. Meridian and these areas are not. You get in here, and let's zoom in and look at a few of these towns here. Shibuda, all through here. Let me turn on locations. So it's easier to realize what we're looking at. We get into the Carmichael category. And this is going to cut across. Here's Jay's Taxidermy and Equipment. If you're coming right out of that, after you go across that big, long bridge and you have that exit there to get off at DeSoto, that's about the line, and it's going to move to the northeast from there, cutting right across where the landfill is in Clark County. And all of these areas here, Manassas on County Road 511 is included in this, and also out at Shady Grove Church. As we get over here, Gilberttown, Alabama, right there. Also, the town hall there at Toxie. All of y'all are in this number 1. Now, the weather intensity, the further southeast you go, will be worse. This is the potential for severe weather that tornadoes could happen. And as you'll see, these red blinking lights right here, this is already tornado warnings that have been issued this morning. As we look at that, officials reported a tornado, confirmed tornado radar, and that's in ESCAMBIA, I'm trying to say that wrong, ESCAMBIA County there. As we look at that, that was reported just a little bit ago, about 7:43 this morning, about 15 minutes ago. And I may have just totally slaughtered that name, so I apologize on that. As we dig into that, as we looked at Evergreen, this is moving fast upon Evergreen, and also Georgiana. Castleberry is just to the east of you. And if you just click anywhere on here, Centerville, Alabama, if you know anybody in that neck of the woods, tell them to get to their safe place. Flat Rock, Alabama, reckon how it got its name. That is under a tornado warning right now. And all of this area here, through Crestview over to Panama City, runs the highest risk of tornadic activity, including Mobile and these areas all through there. Fort Walton Beach, Pensacola. That's where the worst of the worst could be today. So although that's bad news for our friends east of us, it puts a little bit less pressure on the East Mississippi side, all the way back to Baton Rouge. A lot of rain has come through these areas, but again, everything's going to be east as we watch this. As we look here right off in the Gulf there, it looks like earlier, let's see here, tropical storm as it came through there. We've had several bounces here west of Crestview, due north of Pensacola there, of reported tornadic activity earlier. This was right at 7 a.m. this morning there. A tornado confirmed by the public and law enforcement. Buildings were damaged. No injuries, which is great news. And again, that was right up about 7 a.m. This morning there in Florida as it came ashore. And expect all of this area is prone to get this today. Now, let's turn this off where we can get a good look at radar, what's going on this morning with rain and everything that's near us. All right, let's go here, turn radar back on, and we're going to go back and turn the path of all of this off. Let me turn the severe off so we can see better. It'll just work better that way. All right, here's what we got. As we go down and we move in, this is where this thing is tracking. If you'll see all of this heavy rain coming up through here. Fort Walton Beach is getting hammered right now. And just east of Mobile right now, these storms, Fairhope, Alabama, Daphne, Spanish Fort, look at that. This is where one of those tornadoes was confirmed earlier this morning as we move up through here. Atmore, Alabama, getting a lot of rain right now. And this is going to be Highway 31. It'll run into 84 over here where we've got those tornado warnings. As we move up across Alabama, still heavy, heavy rain. And we get up through Clark County. It'll be the northeastern end of Clark County that we start seeing rain here. And let's zoom in on all of this so we can show what radar is showing. that we've got here. As we move here, this is going to pick up about where Mathis Peaches is, all the way to Clarkdale. As we go across here and we look here at the Energy Church in northeastern Clark County here, as we move up, as we move into Lauderdale County, Snell, Hurricane Creek, y'all are getting a lot of rain. Increase all the way out to Wynot. But if you move right across that Alabama line here, just east of Wynot, where it 19 will run into Alabama, Yantley, Alabama, as you'll see the intensity of the rain picks up there. And the further east you go, the worse that's going to get. All of this area here near Hassel, a lot of rain there. As we get up into that's going to be Charles, Alabama, and these areas here, heavier rain there. As we back out, and let's show this over here. That's Ward, Alabama. The line has not made it to Cuba. This is all still south of I-20 as we look at this. This is where Cuba Timber sits here. It'll be reaching there in a little bit. As we get to York, some light rain there, and a little bit heavier rain around Livingston at this point. As we look at this and back into Kemper County, all around Scuba this morning, moving northward. We've got it all the way over to Highway 14, moving into Winston County there toward Louisville there, right around Crystal Ridge Road, the Dollar General there as we zoom in here in Noxapater, getting a lot of rain. Nothing horrible, but steady rain. As we get into Lauderdale, as we come back down, as you get right about almost to the Kemper County line, it'll lighten up. As we get out here on Highway 19 and Meridian, heavy rain back over near Lost Gap in the southern end of Lauderdale and northern Clark County getting rain. A little bit here following 20 around Newton, getting some rain this morning. That's where it is. Now, that we'll have some areas to where it gives a break here in a little while. But the major threat of horrible weather, again, will be to the east. We're going to get rains. And let's dig into what the National Weather Service has to say about all of this, and we'll cover some more ground. We're not through yet. We want to make sure that we cover everything this morning, and we'll be live today when it's necessary to let you know what's going on. All right, let's turn to a few more things here.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
All right, let's switch now and go through what we know from the National Weather Service. As we begin this, our record highs and record lows on today. 1953, 102 degrees, a warm day it was. 1899, it was a lot cooler, 54 on this date. It's hard to imagine that's been that long ago. Just weird. As we look at rain and thunderstorms, this is the area that we're looking at here on the Mississippi side. 77 is our high for the Meridian area today. Right now, 71 as you're waking up, getting this morning started. We'll get down to about 81 and cross those 80s here toward the Mississippi Gulf Coast, toward Hattiesburg as you go on down. Brookhaven will hit 82. Vicksburg even 84. And the further west you go, the warmer it will get. This rain bringing this cooler spell to us. Philadelphia 77, all the way up to Columbus. Now let's move across that Alabama state line and look at the temperatures and what is expected. As we go over to Auburn, all of this, as you'll see here, the east side of this storm is where all of this rain is headed. Hamilton, Alabama, 77. Gadsden, y'all will get up to 79. 76 right around York, Alabama, and Demopolis in these areas around Livingston. And it's going to be heavy there. Widespread showers and a few storms of localized flooding. Tornadoes are possible to the south, as they put it in Alabama. As we looked at that, is there a chance that a tornado could break out here? Absolutely. But the largest chance, again, is to our southeast from us. But we'll watch it. Should something ever pop up, we'll be on top of it for you this afternoon. Let's move forward and look at this, what we've got with flash flooding possible today. Now, this area here from Kemper County, this will just barely get up to Sugarlock, and we'll cut across through Kemper County and make it just west of DeKalb there, about Highway 397 before you get to the Neshoba County line there. As we come down through Meridian, taking in areas about out to Chunky, to where the rain will be heavier, and then due south through Clark, Laurel, Hattiesburg areas today. We're at a 2 in the Meridian area, and as you go west of here, Newton, McGee, up through Philadelphia and Louisville, will be at an area of 1. Now, they listed as a possibility of 3 to 4 inches for Meridian. I really think the most that we will get will be closer to 1.5 to 2, but it is just a warned area. We could have possibility of more rains popping up than expected. So they put a little bit more cushion in there to cover it in case something happens. The areas of Philadelphia, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. We'll be on top of that, and I'll let you know as this day goes about. Now, this covers from now until 1 a.m. in the morning is what we're covering here. We'll have areas of that. Now, strong winds. Let's look at this of what we've got today. Mostly south, as we know that line is moving right through here of where the eye of it cut right through Wayne County, right at Waynesboro is where the eye of Claudette went through. So this is the west side of the storm over here. This will be worse back over this way. So this is where the strong gusty winds, the line won't quite make it toward Philadelphia, Meridian, Scuba, Columbus, and these areas, because it's on the east side there. So we'll look at the Shibuda area and watch that. Y'all will have stronger winds as we get down through Laurel, Hattiesburg, East Central, down in here, Hattiesburg. These areas will get a lot more gusty winds, elevated threat of sustained winds of about 25 and gust up to about 40 there. As we'll get into talking about meridians, gust and all here in just a moment there. As we move forward and look at this, the severe weather possibility. Again, southeastern Clark County, as we watch that's going to be where the eye goes through, and it will be Shibuda and eastward on into Alabama. A little bit there, take it in Laurel, Hattiesburg area, but again, mostly east of there. Good news for everybody that lives on this side of here, from Jackson to Vicksburg. The threat of severe weather has all but diminished and will move east. And these folks that live over here, strong possibility that they will be without power today. Now, am I saying no power is going to go out here? Absolutely not, because our grounds are saturated. All it takes is a little bit of a gust of a wind to break a limb and knock out some power. Y'all know how that goes. So we do run the risk of still power outages, but not the threat that it could have been had that storm stayed steady and been just a little bit to the west there of what it originally was tracking. But it did take that turn, which is good news. As we cross across that Alabama line, I couldn't spit that out, could have. Severe possibilities as we look at the Alabama side. Demopolis is going to be the line of the severe there, taking in Selma, Clanton City, Tuscaloosa. Good news for y'all, the Birmingham area as well, and northward. Again, it's going to be this side of Alabama that has the worst threat of this weather as it turns. Troy, Auburn, y'all expect some of this power outages in those areas also. A tornado is possible through these areas here. As we look at this, as we go to the National Hurricane Center, this is where it was sitting just a little bit ago there. And we go back to radar and pinpoint exactly where she sits. That's Claudette, barely making it into being named, a named storm there. As we move forward with this, as we look at this, the tropical storm force winds, all along the Mississippi Gulf Coast to Alabama, a lot of wind has been cutting through there, and Louisiana as we look at that. The winds as it gets to our areas, you'll know it'll be between 25 and 30 there, looking at this gauge of the map, which is good there. The further south that you go down into Wayne County, Waynesboro and southward, will get up to about 40 is what we're looking at. And then the further you get to the coast there, the worse it will be. As we look at this, you're already feeling winds outside. If you hadn't looked outside and seen the trees moving a little bit, those winds are starting to move into our area. And this will go all the way up toward the Columbus area. You'll be able to feel that as it makes that easterly track. See how that's moving? All right, let's move across and take a look here as we look at the tropical storm Claudette as she makes her way out of the state, and it will make its way on through Georgia and into the Carolinas and then back out. It'll be gone. As we look at the rainfall amounts, as you'll see, originally we were going to get a lot more here. Now it's pushing eastward. Mobile area, these areas along Mobile and the Florida line will get the most of the rain. As we impacts, Claudette is expected to produce heavy rainfall, life-threatening flash flooding, as we saw there in the Slidell, Louisiana area, a lot of that. Considerable flash urban stream flooding will continue through the weekend along the central Gulf Coast, with flood impacts spreading northeastward toward the interior portions of the southeast as we go across here. And again, this is just a threat. It's going to be more of a threat here as we dove deeper into the radar system a little bit ago that tornadoes could happen, but it'll be this east side of Alabama. As we move forward, temperatures today, we're still going to remain normal here. And then as this storm moves across, we'll start cooling across the Carolinas. Hot weather out to our west, and it's going to be coming back. All right, as we cut across here, this is our 7-day forecast. As we look at this, today 77 for our high. We'll get down to 69 tonight. 100% chance of showers there. And we go across and look at this. Rain chances pretty much all week. As they weaken, some days not as much. As we look deeper in today's forecast, 100% chance of rain, showers, thunderstorms going on now. Patchy fog will happen between now and 9 a.m. before that fades away. Again, we'll get sustained winds of somewhere between 10 to 15 in the East Mississippi side. Gust of up to about 25 miles an hour, and we brought that up a little bit ago, so it's not as bad. Our rainfall totals for today for our area will be between 1 and 2 inches, so not nearly what we thought with that 5 to 6 inches because it did move eastward. Tonight we'll drop down to a 60% chance of showers. In some areas it could drop down to about 40. We're looking for tonight 60. As we wake up tomorrow, the rain chances diminish just a little bit, and we're going to have periods of sunshine tomorrow. Even better for us. High will get up to about 89 tomorrow with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. As we move into Sunday night, the rain chance moves out with a low of about 71. But as we begin Monday, rain chances are back into the forecast with a 70% chance, 80% Tuesday, and we've got slight chances there all the way toward the weekend. Not near as heavy, so we'll get some periods there. We'll get a little bit better there. So that's kind of shaping up to be what we've got. Let me pull radar back up here, and I'll look and see what we've got question-wise. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Let's see here. Sliding down through here, good morning. A lot of folks are up there. Thank y'all for watching. I do appreciate that. As we go across here, good morning from Quitman. Lake Edens is watching. Thank y'all. Appreciate that. Macomb, Mississippi, tuning in this morning, watching. Let's see. Good morning, good morning, good morning. From Philadelphia, a lot of folks watching in that area. So, as bad as it could be, we're getting it's better than expected. Does that make sense, what I'm saying with this weather situation? Again, I keep saying to our east. Now, as we've been talking, we've had a couple of more tornado warnings issued for our friends in Alabama. And let's pull that back up and look at this while we're got radar live and going this morning. These blinking lights here are tornado. Crestview, Florida has a tornado warning. Here in Alabama, as we go through here, Highway 31, this is going to be right at Evergreen and northward, Pineapple, Alabama. These areas here. This is Camden. Beatrice is to the east of you, and this is going to be until 9 a.m. As we look at this, tornado warning was issued for northeastern Monroe County, also Wilcox County, and I'm going to slaughter that name there, but I'm going to go for it. CONECUH County. Did I get close? Hopefully it wasn't too bad there. Again, this is until 9 a.m. At 8:14, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was 12 miles southeast of Beatrice or 13 miles northwest of Evergreen, moving at 55 miles an hour. It is a tornado picked up by radar. It will be near Pineapple within the next 10 minutes. So if you've got friends, family watching in that area, let them know about the weather. A phone call never hurts to a friend when you see something like that, because you know how it is. You can be caught up in something, not even realize how bad the weather is there. So we watched that. And let me do an update here as we watch rain. And as we do an update, the rain shifting out of Lauderdale County, and let's pull this up and go back over and look at radar here. As we look at this, it's moved up. Kemper County still getting a lot of rain. Livingston, a lot of rain here. Right here on the Kemper County line as we look at this. This is going to be NAS Meridian. This is what you would call moderate to heavy rain. Eastward, a lot worse there. That we got showers north of West Lauderdale. As we go right here around NAS Meridian, move into southeastern Kemper County. The rain picks up as you get into Noxubee County, all around here. Highway 45, right through here, through Brooksville. Y'all are getting a lot of rain. Starting to show some slacking of the showers there in the Louisville area around Noxapater. That's good news as we move on up and check all this. And here's an overview. Let me turn this off so we can get a good look at that. Here's the overview of this storm. See here, all east of here. This is the track of it. And let's turn back on the track of the tropical storm, Claudette, as she comes in. This is where she's sitting right now, getting ready to come on up here at 1 o'clock and be near the Hattiesburg and then take that more easterly turn toward Alabama. We'll have plenty of updates throughout the day to watch all of this as we track these storms. But be prepared. It's just going to be a wet day is what we're going to be following. In light of all the weather, it's not as bad as it could be. That's the good news. And let me double check. I want to make sure that everything's up and powered this morning. We'll go in here and let's go over here and we'll look at Alabama also. All right, let's go here and check on. We've got. We'll go to EMEPA first as we look at this. We've got 78 outages right now here with EMEPA, and if you'll look at this, we've got them a couple here south of I-20 and northward here. And let's look at the counties here, the breakdown of this. 26 folks in Kemper County, 51 in Lauderdale without power this morning, one person in Newton. And as we go back over here and take a look at this and zoom in a little bit closer to take a look at these areas here. And again, most likely what is causing all of this is wind. There's still trees that are leaning, and it doesn't take much when the ground is saturated for a tree to go ahead and fall over. And that's what we're looking at and seeing here as we look at this here. And this is going to be Tumsuba area, northeast on Cuba Road is where we got some out there. We cut across. Let's back out here where we can see what we got going on here. As we go over Daleville, west of there, north of Collinsville, here's Highway 491, northeast of there. We dip down in here, the Chunky area. All right, let's look at the state. As an overall, see what we are on power outages. The state of Mississippi right now, as we look at this, there's 4,252 without power. We go into Alabama, 6,200. Florida already at 16,000. Let's look at Mississippi and look at this as we go across this. 2 in Noxubee. As we go down 45, Lauderdale County, and it's going to be these areas here. We've got 3,000 people in Jackson County, Mississippi, without power, and of course that's right there on the coastline. Greene County has 103. Let's go back and look at Alabama, of what's happening in Alabama in these counties here. Choctaw County has 52 people without power right now. Sumter County looks good. The further south that you go in the southeast as you go across here. I'm going to say that wrong, so I'm just going to skip it. 1,300 people. I'm going to learn that. ESCAMBIA. Maybe that's closer. Without power this morning. 1,300 people there. And as you go up through here, Perry County, Alabama, 66. Walker, 800. And we've got 633 in Coleman County, Alabama, without power. So there's going to run the risk, as we mentioned yesterday. Just be prepared. Have some flashlights. Be able to, if you have to go without power for periods there where you can make a sandwich, that type of thing. It's not as near as bad, so the crews are already working to get that restored here of the 78 people that we have here locally that are out power right now. Thank y'all for watching. We'll be back with updates as this storm cuts across. I hope some of this has brought a little information to you as what's going on this morning. The path, as always, you can inbox me if you've got a question during the day when we're live. Feel free to put up any question you can, and I'll do my best to answer it as we move through all of this. A big thank you to all the folks that sponsor us, as you see their names up to the right hand there, that bring up all of this. Don't forget the precast group. When you're looking to make sure that you've got the absolute best way to keep safe, storm shelters, the precast group will help you out there. Get you one installed. They can do that no time flat here in the Meridian area. Talk to them. They'll tell you more about it, the precast group. And as always, if you don't like being without power, see them at Sanders Gas. They can tell you more about getting yourself a generator that turns on by itself. You no longer touch anything with a Generac generator. So thank y'all so much for watching. We'll be back as we'll watch this weather closely. Develops and comes across. Again, expect just a wet, nasty day. If you travel today, drive careful, drive slower than you normally do as you make your way across. I'll be back. And again, thank each and every one of you for watching this morning. We'll be back with more coverage as this continues across East Mississippi and Alabama as well here. Thanks a bunch.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by